I learned to not make friends. When I was 8 years old, my parents told me that we were moving. We started moving, we moved to Chicago, and then we moved 13 more times. I just always knew that at any moment I would be moving. And I moved to a very small town. Nobody talked to me, nobody liked me. They called me a Yankee because I had a northern accent. And I started to really think that nobody cared, nobody liked me, I wasn't good enough, I wasn't pretty. For the first time, there was a guy who actually talked to me and was interested in me. Very strong Christian, I thought, and I trusted him. If, we're doing something wrong, he'll tell me, or he would never do anything to hurt me. And he raped me. During the time when we were dating, he continued to sexually abuse me. I was just basically his little plaything, and I just had to do whatever he wanted. He told me that I wasn't pretty, that I couldn't sing, that nobody would ever want me. I figured God doesn't care anymore. I've messed up. It's my fault. I thought the only way to fix it was to stay with him. My life became his life. When he broke up with me, the church that I was a part of, that I had been going to for months, for years, they called me into their church office. They sat me down and they told me that everything was my fault and that I was the one who raped him because I wore jeans. I was completely devastated. I fell into a depression. I lost a lot of weight, and I had no friends. I finally came out and told my parents what happened, and they went ballistic. I had been going through all this abuse for 3 years, and I didn't tell anybody because I really thought it was my fault. I figured out that I needed to probably get out of town. It was just a very small town, word got around, and I left. I just left Georgia. I left town. And I transferred to a school down in Florida. My confidence in anything was completely gone. I really thought that I couldn't sing, I wasn't smart, I really wasn't pretty, nobody would ever want me. So I just was like, God, I'll just do what you want me to do and just be alone. I couldn't figure out what was so wrong with me that nobody wanted me. After that, that's when I started to really realize how much the abuse in the relationship had affected me. I realized that my view of God was completely wrong. I still felt like I knew that God loved me, but I didn't think that He had anything good for me until I started to deal with it and realized that God really does love me. He has good things. It wasn't my fault. I should have gotten out and I should have known, but God forgave me, and that doesn't mean that I'm doomed for life. I started pouring into my Bible. I remember I would just pretend that He was just sitting on, the edge of my bed, and He was just talking to me and telling me that it was gonna be okay, that He still did love me. And I really started to understand God's love, and I started to understand that people do love me, people do care about me. I really believe that, yes, I made mistakes and things happened, but I think that God still used that to bring me to where I am today. I am now in a relationship with a wonderful guy. This guy really actually cared. He knew all about my past, he knew all my stories, and he just loved me. A couple months ago, he told me that he really felt like his calling on his life at this time was to minister to me and to show me how much God loves me. I just never imagined that I would end up with a guy who treats me like a princess and just treats me like a daughter of God and just loves me for who I am. If somebody came up to me and they they were basically in my shoes when I was a teenager, if they had the same story, especially girls, I would tell them it's not true. All those things that that guy is saying to you, they're not true. All those things you think about yourself, they're not true. God thinks that you're beautiful. God thinks that you're wonderful, and anybody who tells you otherwise, they're just not right. My name is Bonnie, and I am changed.